certainly.
Yeah.
See black every day. I mean,
It's closer and
it
it's
was part of the
easy and the
ship.
price is the same.
And now I'm reading.
Oh, so you won.
What's your
You did. Last time I,
and how this admiral are reversed.
that I checked, I mean,
Out
after I
of the
ordered,
three
I checked.
guys, they
the
were just
order,
second.
the price was higher
That
at the
point.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Today, cruisers and aircraft carriers.
Of course, we had to
But
pick it up
this
on Wednesday.
admiral.
They closed at 2 o'clock.
Captain, I don't know if it's.
Yeah, They just keep going on and on and on.
Same thing.
Yes.
Column for abutments.
Yeah, where you would have radar,
And they didn't
fire
have- They
control,
didn't make it.
navigation.
It was like a
everything.
huge column.
But
Right.
on the bridge,
So
it
then
is
they delivered.
that information.
Oh my gosh,
And
that
that
was
was a
horrible.
plot,
Yeah.
where they could plot all the
Well, that's
ships
too
that
bad.
were
I
around.
mean, they're like
It's really
the only bakery, kosher bakery in town, so relative
Right.
does, but,
The-
uh,
You didn't have technology in those
Well,
days.
for many, many years, of course, it wasn't certified. because there were
Right.
surprise.
This
And
thing,
then they said,
so
oh,
it's so interesting, because 10 years later, I was on that ship.
but it was the same.
You know, it was, I
Right.
had no
well, it was
idea.
kosher.
Right.
Yeah, right. And
Right.
the author is
So
Stavridis,
in our freezer.
who was
We-
the
Made room in our
supreme
freezer.
commander of NATO.
Big thing to have to make room for.
He's retired now. And he's
Good.
written evidently
Wow,
on
interesting.
television.
It's, that's too bad about you, because you want them to do well and they have to be,
You know,
um,
Navy and.
with the program.
I know they're not with the game, and
I
even
had
when,
no
when I
idea.
was having my trouble, they were not with the game.
That's
I
too
know
cool.
much about World War II. I have some
Well,
reading
but the interesting thing also is
that I
that they,
never thought about.
their fellas are at Benny's Market
Yeah.
down the street.
Nazis in Germany.
And they're at, Ventura Coast, so they get their goods out there. Product.
Big one.
Right, no, but a special order, that's too bad.
Oh, this country, we always face towards Europe and not the East.
Yeah, yeah.
Those ways.
And I had my soup for breakfast, I think I
I
put
tell
you
part of the last time. And so I'm sitting like reading. You know, I was on that ship.
But it takes,
You know, I would have been there. It was so interesting. It's not too honest.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen every Sunday. Time. It hasn't me. And I can understand where, you know, limited.
Oh, you made the coffee.
Yeah. Really. But I guess. Now I'm
Smart.
It's so interesting. There, you know.
And I read this before you were on.
And nobody here.
Oh. Sam is there.
You know, it was
No.
like that.
I expect.
And we commissioned
It's not gonna be here because she hasn't.
in
been here.
1951.
Otherwise, whoever comes will be.
In fact,
Probably right.
I never thought of that. It's a way to check.
I hear.
When I showed you yesterday.
Feel the vibration. Yeah. Because it was sinking in that.
Oh, very nice.
My wife. Were you gonna send where the pictures of you took?
It's still time.
Right. I'm just saying. Still putting it together. Okay, we can send it tomorrow.
Okay, good.
Right.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good job. Oh, I just lost you. I'll be,
Can you see me?
I can,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You got a new keeper.
You see my keeper?
I know it's.
Great.
Yeah, but it's real situation.
How are your holidays?
Good.
Good.
So it's not.
You go to shul there?
It's not a story.
Yeah.
Did you tune into us at all?
Yes, yes, we did, and we were very happy
Good.
to tune into you. Absolutely. It was much better, but we wanted to at least give it a, and if you think we have old people. And the funny thing is, we think they're all our age, but they're just,
It's just younger. Yeah. All right, we're gonna start. Enjoy the service.
thank you, we will. Glad to
Okay, just yell if I forget to call on you, because every now and then I get distracted. So if there's anything, just yell.
You had so many people at the high holidays online.
Oh, did I couldn't see.
Oh, I saw, well, no, I couldn't see either, but I saw a number and it was a lot of people.
On the live stream, right? Oh, good, good. Want to say hi?
Yes, hi. Hi, Richard. We haven't forgotten you as far as mailing the Book of Remembrance also. I haven't gotten Jen to, to do it with me yet, but we will.
Oh, no big deal.
You can look at it on the website now. If you go on our website, the whole book is there.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's got a link to it on the page, so you can look at the.
Aren't we celebrating your anniversary today?
Yes, we certainly are. You'll see. I guess we can't show you the cake unless we bring this out there, but we got a cake from a kosher bakery for both of our anniversaries, the Bermans, of course. So you'll see, or you'll hear too. You're going to hear.
It's 10:30 and he's waiting.
Okay. We are going to begin. If you have not yet put on your talit and will be doing so, please rise and we'll say the bracha together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehit ateh b'tzitzit. And please be seated. And as we have been doing for 28 years, we turn to page 14. Yeram hayam, yeram hayam, yeram hayam, umelo, yeram hayam, yeram hayam, yeram hayam, umelo, shia et amecha, barei et achatecha, borei, 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 benasem, borei benasem ha'olam. More, 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 nasem, more, nasem, I it's more share, share the Yom HaShabbat. It's more share the Yom HaShabbat. Lord, my Rabbi, my Divine, Adir Bamarum Adonai. Where's my chanting guy?
Do you hear us now, Janet? Yeah, she said, yeah. Please be seated. Page 16.
עולם שמחים בצאתם ותעשי באהובה עושים הרצון טוב וערב נותנים לשמות כל המרינה לזכר מלכותו רק שמש ויהי רעבון רעה והקים צורת הבנה Shema Vano Milo God Subhanahu Me Veredu Kedula Rabi Finding the We gather our seat together. Yahavinu Shalom Yerbachen for the Aretz V'Toliteinu Kolum Liyotzenu Kinapot Yeshua Ata Uvana V'Charta Mikolam V'Lashon V'Kerb Tanu L'Shem Chagadol Sela V'Emet L'Hodot L'Cha U'Lechetcha B'Yahava Baruch Ata Adonai Abucher B'Yamo Yisrael B'Ahava Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha v'chayu advarim ha'ein asher anochi mitzavah hayom alecha v'shminata v'divar ha'pam v'shitecha v'techa v'v'lechtecha v'yemri v'shachlecha v'techa v'shachta v'yota v'techa The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make tzitzit in the corners of their garments throughout their generations, putting upon the tzitzit of each corner and red. When you look upon the tzitzit, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclination of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. I am the Lord and your Azod, Shivechu Ahuvi, Shivechu Ahuvi. Viramemu, 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 Viramemu. Venatenu, Venatenu Yedidim. Venatenu Yedidim. Zemirot Shirot Ve'is Rachot Ve'eruvachot Ve'hod Ga'ot Ve'elechel Venora Mashpilkeim Umaki Shefalim Motzi Asiri Mufode Anavidio Zerdali Neleam Odiei Shalom Elav Tehilo le'el Elyon Baruch Mavarach Mashal B'nei Yisrael Achanu Shira B'Simcha Rabba V'Yamru Chulav Mi Kamocha Elim Adonai Mi Kamocha Nezer Kodesh Nora Tzivot Oseh Shira Chadasha Shibachu Geulim L'Shimcha Asvar Hayam Yachad Kulam Hoduvim Lichu V'Yamaru Adonai Yimloch Le'olam. We pause for thankfulness, and we're going to, since this is the anniversary Shabbat, to celebrate the anniversary of two couples of our congregation who are here. We celebrate the 37th wedding anniversary of Phyllis and Stan Schroeder. Happy anniversary. And today is the anniversary of Alan and Robin Berman. Happy anniversary, and thank you for celebrating. And that is 44 years. And thank you for sharing it with our congregation. So I'm going to ask the two couples to please rise, and I will share a blessing for the two of you. Eloheinu v'Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, we are grateful for the love with which you have blessed and sustained these husbands and wives, whose hearts are filled with gratitude to you. Lord, may they continue to enjoy your blessings in the new song of their years to come, embraced by the love of their family and their friends and their community, so that they may always live in joy and gladness, in love and harmony, in peace and companionship. And let us all say amen and mazel tov. Mazel tov. Remain seated. I can't get too far away from me, my microphone here. Conservative rabbis were asked this question: is there now that the high holidays are over, is there a particular prayer that that really jumped out, that you really love, that really means a lot to you? And one rabbi responded, yeah, the most important prayer for me is the prayer that says, Tekiyah Gedolah after Ne'ilah. Now, if you know what that is, it means high holidays are over. So there's a sense of my great gratitude that we were able to have such lovely high holiday services together. And but I'm also glad that we are now embarking upon our new year together. And this is Shabbat Breshit, and we're going to begin the cycle of the reading of the Torah all over again. So before we have the Torah service and study a little bit of Torah together, let us open it up to anything else that you have to be thankful for. So who would like to continue? Bonnie.
I don't think that I shared this, but if I did, stop me. Our granddaughter Yael, who is 20, and of course her brother Gavi is also 20. Last summer, 2023, she was on birthright. And at that time, they were asked if they wanted to become, get on a donor list for the future of blood donations or other kinds of things. And this was through the Gift of Life. So it was a cheek swab that she gave last year. This June, she was called that she was a match. And after Yom Kippur and before Sukkot, Alicia and Yael flew to Florida, fully paid for by Gift of Life. And Yael donated blood and plasma to get stem cells to save another person's life. And it was just amazing. And she did it, and it was basically it wasn't painful at all. She sat in a chair and gave blood for 2 hours. And luckily the blood was rich enough that she didn't have to sit for 8 hours to get the donation. And so that to us certainly is just amazing and wonderful that she signed up, number one, and that she was called and was able to do this great mitzvah. So it was we're very grateful for that. Yes.
We had a little gift. Prepared that we're going to be giving her on the see her again until Thanksgiving. But we found a site on Etsy that was a necklace that you wear. What do you call it? Like one of these kinds of things. But it's round, and it says in Hebrew, "He who saves a life saves the whole world." And so we had that made in Hebrew. And what was interesting is that it turns out it was fabricated in Spain. So it took a while to get here, and then it had to go through customs, and then they had to go to the post office and show them your birth certificate. Not quite that much. We had to prove that you get something that was big. So who else would like to show what you were thankful for? Paul.
Well, yesterday, our daughter and son-in-law, Michelle and David, celebrated their 21st wedding anniversary on what would have been my parents' 77th anniversary. They got married, and we had a double celebration of their wedding. Great.
Nice, very good. Ray, did I see your hand?
Yeah. I just wanted to say that we're also thankful for such beautiful high holiday services. You outdid yourself if you were high, and I don't know how you did. It's incredible. But the other thing is, we're thankful to you, Bonnie, for so graciously opening your house during a Sukkot, and for the delicious goodies that you make and beautiful decorations. Really special.
Thank
Thank you for doing bring that from.
Well, thank you for saying that, Ray. That's lovely. Thank you. Who else would like to show what you were thankful for? Our President Jordan.
I am thankful that after Neela for the blessing of the children, we actually had children to bless.
It's more than one.
Nothing to do with it, but I mean, just
That's nice.
I did not make a contribution.
Thank you. Who else would like to show what you're thankful for?
I'm
Phyllis?
thankful for Helga and Claire coming in so early every Shabbat and setting up for our Kiddush. It, it seems to me it's a big job, and I know they're both over 90 years old. Amazing. So I appreciate that.
Yes, do we not all? So we're very thankful. Thank you. Richard. Or Janet, did Richard or Janet? So you have to unmute, yeah?
Yeah, we're unmuted. I'm very thankful for Freddie Freeman and our budget.
Not everybody's thankful, but hopefully most of the people in this room are thankful.
Oh, that's right,
Freddie
absolutely.
Freeman.
And Janet has something.
Okay, Janet.
And Janet, yeah.
Okay, since we haven't been around for a long time, first of all, it's nice to see Lou Silverman here because I haven't seen him for a long time. And that is you sitting next to Claire, right? Right. Okay. But also, since we last saw you, our granddaughter was married in Canada and they have since moved and made Aliyah. And they live in Herzliya and they have their apartment all set up and they're all set and it's really lovely. And
They've already visited the safe room once.
yes, they have. But her sister is spending her gap year there in a kibbutz. And so after that, she wants to join IDF and be a lone soldier, and then she'll make Aliyah. But we're thankful that they're okay, and we pray every day for their safety, and it's just so nice to see everybody and be back. Oh, one more thing. One of the hostages, Omer Nutra, is a fellow that another granddaughter had dated through USY. And his parents had a big, huge walk in New York, where he's from in Long Island, on October 7th or 6th. And our kids were Sherry and Howard were there. And I just want to tell Davida that Howard had his hat on and there was a big picture of him with the hat on. So, see, just want to let you know. But it was very well attended and it was quite heavy, but good. And that's it.
It's wonderful. Thank you, Janet and Richard. Thank you. Who else would like to share? Davida.
Well, I'm thankful that Bonnie made my meringues and thought of me when she was making them because those are my absolute favorites and I was a little chazer. I'm also thankful that my sister Sybil and I, and my Leslie, we did the Sherman Oak Street Fair. And what I found amazing, what people were saying, because, we have all of our Judaica stuff, and people were saying, aren't you afraid, to have this up? I go, no, I'm never afraid. Because people used to say to Sybil and I, why do you guys just make Judaica stuff? We're only 2%. You'd be making so much more money, doing other stuff. I go, no, this is our stick. We're Jews, we're proud of it. And so we were so happy that so many people bought hats that said, hi, Am Yisrael, hi, and what she was speaking about, and all the things that they, just to be recognized for, not being afraid, because with all the anti-Semitism. So that, touched my heart to have other people say that to us. And so always just to be proud.
Wow,
And then also Sybil, look at my dress, what I'm wearing. She gave it to me.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Davida. I don't think we all appreciate the fact that you just made me realize that Davida sells almost exclusively Judaica, and to commit yourself to making sure that within the Jewish community we have some of the beautiful things that you produce, that you fabricate. Is just wonderful. Thank you. Who else has something you'd like to share that you're thankful for? Mo.
I'm thankful on Yom Kippur that when I went up to lift the heavy Torah, that Lou was kind enough to say, good luck. So I owe Lou back there. And it worked.
It works.
It worked.
Thank you. Who else would like to show what you're thankful for? All right, Stan Schroeder. Please share.
Happy anniversary. Some of you may have heard some of the story of how Phyllis and I met. And I looked it up because it was through a Jewish computer service, computer dating service back in 1977. And this story, the story of how it all came about, was in a Jewish journal in 2015. And Phyllis had read that and told me something of it, but I don't remember that much. But I found it on my own when I was researching for what I wanted to say, some of the history. And so this is some of the history. As I say, we met in the fall of 2077. And at that time, there were, according to the people who founded this dating service, around 500,000 Jews in LA. And the United Synagogue, the conservative movement's umbrella organization, at that time, the executive director was Rabbi Edward Tenenbaum. And Tenenbaum had come from Philadelphia like 15 years ago or so. He had been a rabbi at a couple or three different congregations in LA, and he had 5 children. And one daughter, it turns out, was still unmarried. And so he was concerned with how Jewish people were able to meet in the 1970s. Actually, it started about 1975 that he was concerned about this. And so he looked into what was then the digital computer age and computer programming. And he had no background in programming, but he decided to learn how to program and try to write the program. Well, first of all, he started writing himself and it didn't work. And then he hired a programmer named Myron Berliner. Berliner, as it turns out, was an ex-UCLA football player and in the 1950s. Jordan, do you remember the name? Myron Berliner?
I only remember him.
Okay, don't remember him. Anyway, he later became a programmer, and he was one of the ones that actually was hired, and someone that he knew that eventually did write the programs. But anyway, they started it and they advertised it. And the first matches, it turned out, didn't work very well. And so a lot of it was done by hand at the beginning. It was for $18 high. You got 6 months of matches. You filled out this form. And so you get, I think, something like 6 matches every time that they did a quote computer run. Well, Phyllis and I were on one of the matches that turns out in the fall. And so who knows what puts things together and how, blessed that we are of, something that we never would have thought about. Of course, I was a programmer at the time, and it turns out I even thought of and did marginally a computer dating service of my own, but not to match me, to try to make some money that didn't work out. Anyway, of course, one of my hobbies has been writing poetry for Shabbat, for Jewish occasions and for family, and particularly for Phyllis, who've written a lot. And so this is a poem that I wrote for 37th anniversary. 37 years since we've been wed, thousands of words we have said. The ones under the chuppah still ring true. To honor and cherish, we said, I do. 37 years since Orchid Ranch Park, a Sunday afternoon we're blessed to mark. For me, wife number 3 has made me happy as can be. All my relatives sing your praises, using new superlative phrases. Sisters, cousins, younger generations too, each determined to compliment you. You never fail to let me know you light my life with a gentle glow. You make our family life more complete with food and ambience always sweet. Monthly injections to reduce your cancer. For lymphedema, the daily pump is the answer. Inside a walker and outside with a cane, a sense of humor you still retain. We enjoy the simple pleasures, the calm conditions no one measures. Wednesday bridge for you, including lunch. Monday night tennis for me, then a munch. Daily Wordle we play, who uses less tries, each with the same is no surprise. A game of Scrabble to draw the blanks, many blessings for which to give thanks. Jewish activities to nourish our souls, lectures on computers to set new goals. Most of all, a love we hold dear and a marriage starting its 38th year. What can we say about that year to come? Which are the tunes we'll choose to hum? What types of storms we will need to weather? All I know is we'll do it together. By the way, I'm going to send to those of us who are here and on Zoom, I'm sending this poem and a link to the article in the Jewish Journal.
Yes, let me see that. Well, I don't think I even knew that you were matched up on a computer. That's great. How beautiful. So, thank you for sharing that. And we're now going to offer our own private prayers of thanks. So please turn to the bottom of page 18 and rise. Sur Yisrael, Kuma B'Ezrat Yisrael, Ufadeichinu Meha Yehuda. Aleinu Adonai Tzavot Shemo, Oh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Yisrael. And we continue quiet. Oh, say shalom, shalom, shalom. Oh, say shalom, shalom, shalom. In Roma, shalom. Aleinu v'alto Yisrael Please be seated. יתגדל ויתגדל שמי רבה, יאמרי רכי רותי במחמך ותי בחיי חון ובימי חון, ובחיי דוח בית ישראל בקרבה בזמן קריב ימרו. Hey שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לעולמי עולמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ונשא, ויתהדר וידליב אל שמי לקודשה, פרי לעילא מכל ברכתה ושרתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ויאמרו, Amen. Gebels van de handen van de handen van Israël. Tadam bavon b'shmai v'yimeru. Amen. Yishlam rabba mitzomai v'chem aleinu ba'akol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Ose shalom d'mromav hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'alkol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. We come to the Torah service. Let's give out some honors. Who would like to carry the Torah through the congregation? Lou, thank you. Who would like the Hagbah honor? Mo, who would like the wrapping Galila honor? Right. We continue now on page 19. Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, v'ein kemasecha, malchut malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai oz li'amoyitei, Adonai damo v'shalom. Amarachamim, etiva v'rtzoncha, et Zion. Tivne Bomot Yerushalayim. Tivne Bomot Yerushalayim. King Baruch Shata Torah.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Eloheinu,
Ad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai.
L'romema shemo yachdav.
Adonai Hagedul, Ave Hagedul, Rabbi Eret, Yanei Sameach, Kiko Bashamayim Nuvar, Retzkiko Bashamayim Nuvar. Adonai Hamamlacha, Ve'amiknas Selechol, Mitzion Teisei Torah, Mitzion Teisei Torah, Mitzion Teisei Torah. Mitzion Teisei Torah. Mitzion Teisei Torah. We remain standing for the reading of the Torah, which I'm going to do. I'm always honored on Shabbat Bereshit to be able to chant from the Torah. And I may need some help keeping this open. And I want you all to, if you can see this, so if you look very carefully, you will see that the bet here is big. That's going to be my sermon this morning. That's a big bet. So everybody point to the bet, and with your talit, your pinky kiss. Baruch hu et Adonai Baruch Adonai Baruch Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam. Baruch Adonai Yehoveinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Torah. Reishi bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'haaretz hata tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tahom v'ruach Elohim merachepet al pnei hamayim v'yomer Elohim yihi or v'yehi or v'yar Elohim et haor ki tov v'yavdel Elohim bein haor u'bein hachoshech v'yikra Elohim la'or yom u'lechoshech hara layla. That's the first day of creation, and I'm going to skip now to the sixth day of creation, the creation of people. Elohim et ha'adam b'tzamo b'tzelem Elohim bara oto zachar u'nekeva bara otam v'yavarich otam Elohim v'yomer lahem Elohim peru uru umilu et ha'aretz v'chavsat v'radu b'dagat hayam v'of hashamayim v'chol zayit v'hameset al ha'aretz v'yomer Elohim hinei natati lachem et kol esav zera asher al pnei kol ha'aretz v'yakol ha'es asher bo pri-et zera lechem yeh l'chol chayat ha'aretz l'chol of hashamayim v'l'chol romeis al ha'aretz asher bo nefesh haya et kol yerek ha'esev l'chla v'hichein v'yar Elohim et kol asher asa v'nei tov me'od v'hiyar v'hivoker yom shishi. That was the sixth day of creation. God said, I will create man in our image after our likeness. And then the seventh day of creation. Vayichlu hashamayim va'aretz b'chol tzva'am vayichal Elohim et vayom hashvi'i malachto asher asa vayishpot vayom hashvi'i mikom malachto asher asa vayivarech Elohim et hashvi'i vayikadesh oto yivo shavat mikom malachto asher bara Elohim laso. We do the kiddush. We find that familiar. Point right here. Join together. Baruch atah Adonai Asher natan lanu Torah Please be seated. I want to start with a really old joke because there's not much of an opportunity to give this joke. What is the only place in the entire Torah that mentions baseball? Anybody know? Where in the Torah does it mention baseball? Go.
In the big inning.
In the big inning. Very good. The first words of the Torah, in the beginning, God created the heavens and
Big innings. Big innings.
big inning, beginning. All right. So let's talk a little bit about that bet because there's a lot to be said about the bets. It's written large, and the fact of the matter is that it's not the only one that is written large. If you and I have a reprint here of all of the different. Oh, here it is. So this is the bet that was written large. This is what it looks like. This is a little bit better copy to be able to see on a different Torah how big the bet is compared to all of the other letters. But the interesting thing is, every letter in the alphabet at one time or another in the Torah is written large. And so if you look at this picture, you will see scattered throughout the Torah, you have these words. And at some point or other, they are larger than the other letters in the line or in the word. Right? And that's just some of them. So the question is, what is that all about? Now, let's remind ourselves that sometimes the reason that the letter is written large is because there is something about the letter or the word that stands out. So, for example, there is one letter in the Hebrew word Vayitgala in Vayikra, and the gimel inside that word is written large. Why? Because it is the middle verse in the entire Torah. And similarly, in the Hebrew word Gahon in Vayikra, there is a large vav. Why? Because it is the mid letter in the entire Torah. Sometimes the letter is written large. And by the way, if you think that the letter bet is large because it's the beginning of a chapter or a book in the Torah or the beginning of the Torah, nowhere else in the beginning of any of the other 4 books of Moses is the letter written large to start off that book. So the letters sometimes are there large in order to draw our attention to the fact that maybe there's a way of precisely writing it or pronouncing it. So the example that I want to give to you is the word Shema. Turn in your prayer book for a second to page 17. I don't know how many of you have seen this. I have chosen, when I put this prayer book together, to concentrate on the way in which the Shema is written in the Torah. So later in the Torah, in Parashat Vayetchanan, on page 17, this is what it looks like in the Torah. And you'll see the Shema has 2 Hebrew letters that are larger. The ayin in the word Shema, are we on page 17? So the ayin on page on the word Shema is written larger, and the Dalet is written larger. Why is the ayin written larger? So the rabbis say maybe it's because it's a silent letter, and people who aren't really good spellers may accidentally write the word shin mem not with an ayin as a silent letter, but an aleph, another silent letter. Changes the word entirely. Now it's no longer Shema, here, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, but Shema. It could be pronounced Shema if an aleph is there, which means perhaps, changes the entire meaning of the word. Perhaps the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Why is the Dalet written larger? Because the Dalet can be confused with another Hebrew letter that's formed very similar to it, which is the Resh, and it could change the word to Acher, which means hero, wisdom, the Lord our God, the Lord is another. Right. So the rabbis want to therefore point out that if you're writing the Shema, such an important statement, you want to make sure that you get all the spelling correct. the rabbis also want to take the opportunity to give another little homiletical lesson, which is if you to put the two Hebrew letters together, ayin and daled, it forms the Hebrew word ed, which means witness. That when we as Jews recite the Shema, that we are witnessing to the unity of God in the world. So now let us turn our attention to the Hebrew letter bet. So you know that the Hebrew letter bet is enclosed on three sides. Right, let's take a look at this again. So it's enclosed in three sides, and it's open on the, and if you read Hebrew from, as we do, right to left, it means the opening is to the future, and the bet is closed off to the past. And the rabbis give a very interesting explanation as to what this means. What this means is that the cosmology that is mentioned in the Torah, the way in which the world is created, where it's that the translation should not be in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, because that sounds like it's a chronological sequence of creation. If there was a beginning, and then there was a middle, and maybe someday that there's going to be an end. But Breshit bara Elohim, that's the King James translation. There's a much better translation than in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. It is Breshit bara Elohim. When God began to create the heavens and the earth unformed and void, and darkness was upon the face of the earth, God created light. So what that means is when God began to create, so it's not the beginning. Jews don't believe necessarily in creatio ex nihilo, that there was a moment that at least in the Torah, that everything suddenly was created. Rabbis actually say that there was a primordial mass that is described. In fact, if you look at the words in the first sentence, the earth was being unformed, and so there was already something there. The earth was unformed, there was the void, there was the darkness upon the face of the earth, that there was something that was existing before everything was placed into order, which is what the first chapter of Bereshit is all about, taking this mass of already created elements and placing them in order. So we have the 6 days of creation. So it doesn't mean that the world was created in 6 days. Rather, the bet reminds us that everything to the backside of the bet is closed off to us. We will never know what happened with the Big Bang or any other way in which the world was created. All we know is we need to look forward. And so that's why the bet is open into the front. So that's the first lesson, which is interesting because now you have some political parties that say that there should be a Bible in every classroom, right? I'm not quite sure what the point of that is, because we all, different faiths, read the Bible differently. We begin reading the Torah over and over again, and the reason that we concentrate on the first 5 books of the Torah, of the Bible, is because while the Torah doesn't change, we do. And every time we read it, we gain new lessons from the experience. If Christians decide that they're going to learn that the world created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, less than 6,000 years ago, then they've taken our book and completely misunderstand it. And yet they want to put it in classrooms, and not quite sure how they're going to end up developing that. But what we've learned, therefore, is that we don't know how the world was created, but we move forward from there. The second lesson that we learned from the big bet is that it's the second letter of the alphabet. And you can ask yourself, why not start with an aleph, the first letter of the alphabet? And the rabbis say it's to remind ourselves that sometimes we cannot even begin at the very beginning. We have to jump in at some point. And in our lives, we know that there are things that we can't start new, but it doesn't mean that we can't enter into some kind of a process where, even though we're a little late into it, we can begin at that point. And then the third lesson is very interesting, because the question is, well, the rabbis actually say it's not beginning with an aleph, because aleph stands for the Hebrew word arur, which means cursed. Instead, it begins with the bet, which means Baruch, blessed. So we don't want to begin with the word that the world is cursed, rather that the world is blessed. So listen to this very fascinating commentary by Rabbi Neil Joseph Levinger. He says, they could have picked other words to explain Bereshit other than bracha, blessing. But they wanted to make a fundamental point. Even though the world can feel like a cursed place, full of evil and suffering, the job of cultivating a religious perspective is to find a blessing in all our worldly circumstances. Of course, the world has suffering, but we believe that the possibility of goodness outweighs it. That's what it means to have faith and not to believe certain propositions despite all evidence, but to orient ourselves towards gratitude and wonder. So we all remember what Abraham Joshua Heschel said about amazement and wonder and finding the wonder in the world. And so, yeah, we're going through a tough time right now. Wars are going on in the Middle East, and Israel is fighting for its survival. We know that in America, we have been fighting. Half the country's been fighting the other half of the country. And eventually this is going to be resolved. Probably not on November 5th. Hopefully by New Year's Eve, we'll all have a president. But we know that despite all the turmoil in our little corner of the world, life is good. We are with each other. We are experiencing this new life of the Jewish year, and we are doing this with our relative health and with our love that we feel for those who embrace us and we embrace in turn. And the world can be faced with wonderment and awe, no matter what else is happening. This is the creation that we create for ourselves in the world. Stan.
What you've just explained is known as the big bet theory.
The big bet theory. So we're going to, did you just make that up or is it, have you heard that before? That's wonderful. Wow. You talk about creativity. I'm gonna get my sermon again. I don't know by saying that.
They even had an observant Jew in the show.
Miami.
In the Big Bang.
Miami.
Big Bang.
Right.
Yeah, oh, he's an Orthodox Jew. Yeah. So we're going to do a Mishnah Be'er for those who are not known. I'll ask you to share the names in a moment. Mishnah Be'er, Papatain, Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Yimatain, Yitzhak, Kabbalea, Yevarech, Rabbeinu Cholim. May he who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal these who are sick. Raise your hand if you have any names.
Yaakov Sparrowson, Shoshana, Rochelle Montague, Pat Shoshana, Anya Bakbegu, Shana Malka Bakbunasa, Mike Goodman.
Thank you. Paula, Mark Minsky, Chuck Richmond. Thank you, Paul.
Bruce Solomon, Shirley Mountain, D. Wiley, Lynn Shrivestein, Charlie Vaughn, Kelly.
Robert Fell, Robert Baker, Bob Nelson, Sue Barton, Harold.
Thank you. Thank you.
Phyllis and Sheila and Pearl Taylor.
Thank you.
Darwin, Davis, Bill Cooper, Suzanne Manuel, Jeanette Sullivan, Diane Ingle, and Joe.
Thank you.
Rosalind Klein. Lisa Hart and Jerry Gord.
Roy Ricken and Israel Linda. Thank you.
Lynette Whitford, Jody Epstein, Nadav Celery, the Sella, Pearl Bucket, Jane Apson, Linda Warwin, Mina Hersher, Nancy Arkin, Fran Winters, Barbara Garabach, Maureen France, Arnie Ritter, Bob Sharp, Brianna Gribben, Rebecca Barber, Corinne Geller.
Thank you. Sir. Yeah, Claire. Any of the names we've neglected? Anybody online have a name? The Kirschbaums?
My wife Janet,
My husband, Richard, Grant Hackman, Sheriff Farber, David Iwanski, Brian Day, Roz Salzman, Sophia Kirschbaum Newmark, Melinda Petler, Carla Wills, Michael Salzman, And you for your ear, whatever that is.
Thank you, thank you. I had a basal cell carcinoma removed right before the holidays, so, but thank you very much, and it's healing nicely. Anybody else online would like to share a Mishaber?
HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yeah, Lou and Michelle Loomis. Good. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishlach lahem b'mehera refuat hanefesh v'refuat haguf b'toshach Yisrael v'nomar amen. May the merciful restore these people to full health and to full vigor, along with all others who are stricken with illness. And let us say amen. We turn our attention now to prayers for our country and for Israel. First, a prayer for our country. Harachaman hu yivarech et artzot habrit v'yagin aleha. May God bless the United States of America and protect us. Before we do our prayer for Israel, I'm going to share this that Stan gave me. Remember, we always have a little tidbit about Israel to help us learn a little bit more about what a blessing Israel is in our lives and the lives of humanity. We Will Dance Again has become an Israeli mantra of hope and resilience following the massacre at the Nova Music Festival on October 7th, when Hamas terrorists came and killed so many people and ended up kidnapping so many people from that area. Vibez, V-I-B-E-Z, a unique young platform for music events, is determined to help Israelis do just that. With major input from a famous Israeli DJ whose son was one of the victims of the Nova attack. The platform is available in app and browser form, operates as a portal for private communities. Anybody can apply, serves as a complete environment for these events. And the person who began it said, "We built an ecosystem for advanced communities that does much more than just ticketing. We do the whole aspect of member management." Communities became a big thing everywhere in every segment of life. The head of it said, "I'm very proud of the fact that we are a bootstrap company and we reached the milestone that we have reached." Well, I'm not sure what they do. What is this about?
What are you asking?
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
They have an app for your phone, and these people who want to put up an event, they'll do all the organizing through that app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it says at the end, I think now they're the 15th largest app in Israel.
Yeah, the milestone includes some 100,000 users in Israel, and the app that he says has been downloaded by more than 10% of that number, making it the 15th most popular app in the country in less than a year. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that insight. So we are now going to return the Torah to the ark. If we can have the husband and the leader come forward as we all sing the prayer for the state of Israel. Of course, our prayers are that the hostages will be released, that war will cease, that the world will understand that Israel is fighting for its survival, and that our concern is reflected in this prayer. Avinu Shabbat
דרכנו וכל נתיבותיך אשיב ונשובה קדש ימי We remain standing for Musaf, the bottom of page 21. Yitkada, Yitkada, Shemei Rabba, Madi Rachi Rute, V'mechmachu, Te, Bechaye, Pornuvio, Ome, Et Yisrael, Ubizman Kamri, V'imru, Yesh Me Rabba, Yibarach Vishtabach Vishbarach Min the Savior Tatar Vietale Vietala Shanei Kudisha Layla Mikol Bechata Veshirata Tavene Kamata Taviran Yomam V'Yemiru. Page 22, we back up 3 small steps, 3 steps forward. Put our heels together and we bow. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Avoteinu Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanorah Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Kodei HaKol V'zocher Chasdei Avot U'Mei Goel Livnei B'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yahweh Melech L'Shem Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei Metim Atah Rav L'Hoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Mori HaGashem Kel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayei Metim B'Rachayim Make no plea B'Rofei Cholim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Natoli Shenei Min Amocha B'Gvura U'Midomela Melech Me'midu Mechayei U'Masmiach Mishua V'ne'emar atah l'chayot beiti Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei Hametim Naritzcha v'nakdishcha k'sosiyah Sharpei kodesh hamakdishim Shimcha b'kodesh Ka'katuv hayad nevi'echa V'kara ze'el ze'viyah Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzvaot Ochel haaretz kivod Kivodo male male olam Mishartav sholim sholim zelazeh Aye mekom mekom kivodo Aye mekom mekom kivodo Atam baruch meru Baruch kivod Adonai Min kama yishen rachamim v'yachonam hamyachadim shelo erev bavoker b'chol yom tamid hamayim v'yama shema Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Eloheinu Malkeinu Malkeinu Avinu Malkeinu Moshiach Yashlienu Rachama Sheni Yeinei Kol Chai Yashmienu Rachamav, Sheini Yolachem Elohim, V'divrei kodesh katuv lemor, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohim Tzion, Dor v'dor nagid v'lecha lenetzach netzachim kedushatcha nakdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipino liyamush li'olam va'et ki hamelech gadol v'kadosh ata, Baruch atah Adonai El HaKadosh. Please be seated. Yismechu b'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Borei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Borei Oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei, Mekadeshei Shavi Shabbat, Ulam Nisbehu, Vidangu Mituvecha Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Oneg Shabbat. Vashvi'i ratzita bo v'kidashta ho Shabbat, Chamdat yamim oto karata, Zecher lamaseh v'reish. Now, before we chant our concluding prayers, we'll ask Jordan to share some congregational announcements.
Shabbat shalom. I need to check this date, but our first semester of Around the Rabbi's Tish and on the Rebbitzins virtual chairs begins on Friday.
No, Thursday.
Thursday is October 31st. November 1st is Friday.
Thursday.
November 1st is Thursday.
We begin the
7th.
Thursday in November.
Okay. Our first semester of Around the Rabbi's Tish and on the Rebbitzins virtual chairs begins on Thursday, November 7th at 7:30 p.m. Not what the email said. Mitzvah Day will be on November 3rd at the Jewish Home for the Aging on Victory and Wilbur. We will have a fun-filled time serving pizza, making Hanukkah cards, and playing bingo. People can email or text our Social Action Vice President Becky Finley to say they are coming. Reservations need to be made by October 28th, and $10 will be taken to the door. If you have any questions, hunt down Becky. Don't forget to vote on Tuesday, November 5th, or if you haven't already voted earlier or by mail. We have openings on the board of directors and plenty of room around Helga's table. If you want to be a mover and shaker of Shir Ami, let Alan Berman know, and you too can be the man or woman behind the curtain, to whom nobody pays attention. Our next Shabbat service will be November 9th at 10:30 a.m. here at D Toledo. Does anybody have anything to add to extend our service? Good. Shabbat shalom.
We're going to add that we have a sentimental cake.
We have a celebratory cake. What are we celebrating? Oh,
Our nice to have an anniversary when your ex-fiance doesn't call it off. But I was ready to go. Okay. Let's join together, page 24.
Please be seated. However, let those who are in mourning or observing yahrzeit remain standing. For the mourners Kaddish, as we observe these yahrzeits of the coming 2 weeks, Zichronam Livracha, Bernard Schneer, Harvey Cohen, Terry Kirshner, Max Goldstein, Sheldon Goldstein, Hilda Goldfarb, and Joan Gort. Are there any names that I have neglected? Mourners Kaddish is on page 24. Yitgadal v'yitgada shemei rabba v'yalma divrachi rutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayerecho Beit Yisrael v'agala u'vizman kari v'yimeru amen. Yehei shmei rabba v'vorach li'olam v'lo'omei Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yishpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei d'kudisha b'ri'ut Le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imeru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru amen. Please be seated as we conclude our service with Adon Olam, page 26. Adon Olam, Asher B'Alam, B'Terem Go, Yitzir Nimo, Eid Nasam, B'Chefshago, Azai Melech Shemo. Go Dodgers!
Right, no.
If I post them.
Shabbos.
Yashakoa.
Yashikoa,
Good
listen,
Shabbos.
oh, she's talking. Bonnie,
Yes.
the piece of art that Yael did,
Yes.
third generation,
It was interesting.
it just touched my heart so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, we're gonna have it printed. I want a copy, I want a poster in our home, so.
Yes,
Yeah, it was, and the hours that she spent, the names, I mean, you have to, it's unbelievable. It's so tiny to include more than 1,000 names.
unbelievable. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
On Facebook, she posted on Facebook and it shows her in the hospital bed.
I
And-
saw,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw that, yeah,
And it just touches your heart.
Yeah,
yeah.
but,
Pride.
thank you. See you, Mazel tov on all the
Yeah.
wedding and everything, and oh my goodness, to have your grandchildren in Israel,
I know, but you know what?
Mark,
yeah, no, they'll be okay. They'll be okay.
Yeah,
Mark will be there probably in a couple of years.
yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
so that's the way it is, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but just take care. Yasha,
Thank you too.
David.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words.
Did you have a Mose?
Yes, I did.
He's got
got-
one coming up.
Well, they got it in the first shot, so I hope that you
Good.
have the same success rate.
Yes, his is right in his sideburn. So it's not so far from yours.
Yeah, but mine was in the ear.
Oh. Oh, where?
Yeah, it's right in the crevice
Oh my
on
God.
this side. Yeah.
Also,
Right.
also during Musoff, you were harmonizing. It was very nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I
All
caught it.
righty. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Good to
Shabbat
see you.
shalom. Enjoy the cake.
Shalom. See you.
Hi,
Davida. I will. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Oh.
Have a